A lot of farmers have been asking me, how many bags of 50 kg maize can we get from a 10 kg bag of seed? Some people ask me, how many bags of 50 kgs can we get from 1 hectare? Well, today I thought of coming closer to you, try and explain what really happens and what causes you to get fewer bags and what causes another person to get more bags. Hi, I'm the mad farmer from Chipangali district, deep down in the village of Eastern Province. Welcome to my program. I'm somebody who's so passionate about agriculture, be it animal or crop production. Today, like I said in my preamble, I'm here to explain to you the reason why you usually get lower yield and while others get high yields. There's a very simple explanation. Most of the time, it's how we do our fertilizer application. In the fertilizer we apply here in Zambia, the main components are 3: NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Those are usually the numbers you see on the bags when buying. Like the Zambian fertilizer will give you 10 nitrogen to 20% of phosphorus and 10% of potassium. But when you go to countries like Malawi, Malawi will give you 23% of nitrogen, 10% of phosphorus, and 5% of potassium, depending on their soils. That's why it's very, very important. If you want to do farming on a commercial basis, for example, you want to do farming 2 hectares and above, do a soil test. A soil test is very, very cheap. Those that don't know where you can test your soils from, please, you can get in touch with me. We can help each other and have your soil tested. Now, in the 3 main components that are found in the fertilizer, I want to explain something, how those things work before we actually go to the causes of you not getting a lot of bags of maize in your field. I think, come with me, I explain something here. This is a maize plant. A maize plant or all plants needs these 3 main components: NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are needed in large quantities. However, there are those other small elements that are in the fertilizer that are also needed, but they are needed in smaller quantities. Things like boron, things like calcium, things like magnesium, things like zinc. They are also there, but they are needed in smaller quantities. So now, let me explain something here. Let's come to the nitrogen, the N. The nitrogen, the main purpose of the nitrogen is to give the maize your color. Okay, and it also helps in the growth, the vegetative growth of your plant. Okay, then lack of nitrogen, you will discover that your maize will be turning yellowish. Just know that your plant or your maize is lacking nitrogen. Now, let's come to the phosphorus. Phosphorus, the main function of a phosphorus is to actually work on your roots, root formation or root development. You see, it also helps in the fight against diseases, drought tolerance, and stuff like that. It helps take the nutrients from the soil and feed your plants. Lack of phosphorus, you will discover that your plant will be actually turning purplish. Just know that your maize is lacking phosphorus. There's also the potassium, the K, the potassium at the end. That one works on the whole system to make it stronger, to make it big and strong against the wind and other diseases and of course the drought. Lack of that, lack of potassium, you will discover that your maize will actually be turning like it's burning. Now, having broken these things down, you need to understand one thing here. Like I said, do a soil test. You will be able to understand what your maize needs in that particular field. What worked on my farm might not work on your farm. Okay, so it's very, very important. If you want to grow in farming, invest in soil. Do your soil test. Talk to us. We'll actually help you have your soil tested. Now, let's come to the plant. Most people who want to neglect their plants, they are busy asking how many kgs can we get from a 10 kg. It all starts from where you plant it from. Okay, it's always better, get it from me, it's always better to apply your D-compound, your NPK at planting. However, there are some times whereby you don't have enough manpower or you don't trust your workmanship. Okay, because once those two get into contact, the seed dies. If you want to apply your fertilizer at planting, you apply your seed, you actually cover a little bit, and then you apply your fertilizer. But that becomes a problem to some people. So what you need, there's an alternative. What you do is you allow your plant to germinate, to come out. The moment it comes out, hammer it with what? With your NPK fertilizer. Now, here's the point. If you look at this plant, you can draw it closer. If you look at this plant, it was submerged in water. Okay? It was submerged in water. Now imagine if you had your fertilizer. For example, this is your fertilizer, you had your fertilizer, and then you just did this. Okay? You applied your fertilizer like that, and then you left. And then the rains come like it came here. You see, there was a lot of water up to here. Now imagine what would happen to your fertilizer. Would your fertilizer work? No. And then you'll be there saying, no, if fertilizer this fertilizer doesn't work, it's not effective and stuff like that. These are some of the things when we talk about good management, these are some of the things we talk about. So the best thing to do is you make a hole. You make a hole. You see, when you make a hole using a long stick, when you make a hole, and then even if you got your fertilizer, you put it there, it's going to be covered. Even if the rains came up to here, it won't be washed away. Meaning that all the fertilizer that you had applied will be used to this plant. Okay, another thing, you need to understand how many grams you are applying in your field. The standard, I'm looking at the standard for Zambia. You need 5 grams per plant, meaning that here, there are 2 plants here, meaning that you will need 10 grams of compound tea and then 10 grams of top dressing. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you put 5 grams even if there are actually 2 plants there. It doesn't work like that. Another thing now, here's the thing. This soil here, it's okay, you can apply once. But if you discover that your soils are too loose, okay, they are sandy, like Western Province, parts of Kaoma, Chongwe, part of Katua, those soils, they're a little bit sandy, such that the fertilizer gets easily washed away. When that case occurs, you split your fertilizer into 2. Okay, you split your fertilizer into 2. The same 5 grams, for example, there are two plants here, meaning that you put 5 grams there. After a week or so, you apply the other balance, the 5 grams. If there's one plant, you put 2.5, you wait for the other week, 2.5. So that even if that thing is washed out, the other one is going to work. Same applies to top dressing. You apply it twice. That way, you would have catered for this plant, and then this plant will give you health. Another reason why the phosphorus and the potassium are needed in this thing. The potassium, the phosphorus is going to feed your plants here. Going to feed the plants. By the time it's coming to feed the plants, you've put your top dressing. Your top dressing at this level, at this size, you should have put your top dressing already in readiness for your new crop. Okay, so meaning that the combination of these 3, they will make your plant have very big grains or very big crops. Hence, you have a lot of bags. Okay, so now what usually happens? Some of the factors that leads to poor harvests is the weeds. You find that this person takes time to weed. You see, he allows the weeds to overgrow such that they even take some of the nutrients that are supposed to be taken by the plants. They've been taken away by the weeds. We find that your plants will not give you what you expect. Hence, you get 25 bags in a 10 kg. The other field where there's somebody that gave you the maximum management, they are getting 60 bags per 10 kg. Would you ask me why, bad farmer, why is that I'm not getting enough? No, it's because of your negligence. Always. Your plant should be your best friend. Okay, it's like a mother, a baby. Before they go for work, they go to the bedroom, they check on the baby, how the baby is doing. And then that's when they go for it. It's same with this. Before you go 2-3 days, you come and scout for diseases. Okay, you look out for diseases. You look out for any changes. Just like those people that keep animals, livestock. You see, once in a while, just stand in whether it's your crow or your poultry or your piggery, observe how your animals are behaving. You'll be able to tell that something is wrong. It's the same with the plants. Once in a while, you come, you stand in your field, you watch your plants, how they are doing. They'll be able to tell you a story that this is lacking, this is not lacking. This is the time whereby you'll be able now to scout for armyworms and things like other things, why this is not growing, why this is not happening. You'll be able to understand your crop. So now, let me break it down and summarize it. So what you need to do is make sure you do your soil testing so that you get the correct amount of fertilizer, because you may discover that this place is too much, there's too much nitrogen in the soil. And then you go and buy the fertilizer from Malawi, the 22-10-5. You find that you just burn your crop. It will not give you as expected. It will be very vegetative, but it will fail to give you a crop. You see, so understand yourself. You may discover that there's got too much phosphorus in the soil, and then you go and buy you buy the Zambian fertilizer where there's so much phosphorus. So it's better you understand yourself. Once you understand your soil, then you'll be able to buy the fertilizer designed for your soil. I know the government of the Republic of Zambia is doing this process, has done this exercise. I think that was last year. They did this exercise where they want each district to have their own fertilizer based on the soil composition. So these are some of the things we need to look out for. So, and then when you ask me, how many bags can I get from a hectare? I want you to answer those questions now. How many bags do you get from a hectare? It's very, very difficult for me to answer that question because I don't know how many 10 kgs of maize seed you planted. So for me, you need to ask me, if I planted a 10 kg bag of seed, how many bags can I get? I will not just say like that. I'll also ask you questions. How many bags of fertilizer did you apply? At what point did you apply? All those things will be factored in, and then we'll be able to give you a specific answer. So when it comes to farming, management is number one. Management is number one. Once you do this management, you will be going to the bank smiling. One thing about maize is it's always on demand, because in Africa, we need to eat maize. We eat maize all the time. We eat maize all the time, so it's always on demand. So if there are any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. The numbers are 0977 851196. 0977 851196. Please give me that call, give me that text message, give me that WhatsApp. And then when you send me a WhatsApp message, please, you can say, "Hi, Mad Farmer." You go straight to the point. Avoid saying, "Hi, Mad Farmer, how are you? How's home?" Avoid all those things. Just say, "Hi, Mad Farmer." Get straight to the point, because it's easier for me to answer it like that. Because once you start reading other, we waste most of them. Because sometimes I receive a lot of messages. Another point again is mind where you buy your fertilizer from. Mind where you buy your fertilizer from. Fertilizer is a key. Seed and fertilizer, these are key. As a farmer, once you sell somebody fake fertilizer, fake seed, you've killed him. Because for him to come and discover that this seed is fake or the fertilizer is fake, time would have passed. That's a loss. That's why we've got specific shops, agro dealers or agro shops, which we buy. Shops like the Modern Bazaar, which always, at any time you may go there, they will give you something that is genuine. If they don't have, they'll tell you, "No, we don't have this. Give it time, we'll get it for you." And then they do likewise. So that's that about farming. Like I said, feel free to ask me those questions. Thank you so much. On behalf of my camera person here, I thank you so much. You've been doing a good work. Thanks and enjoy.